welcome. You just tuned into Fat Bitch to That Bitch. I am Fat Bitch to That Bitch. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and yeah, all of that. I have not posted in a long time, and let me tell you why. I had lost my job because of craziness in my life, and I'm a nanny. And then as I was looking for new families, one of the families that actually gave me the job, I was working with an agency at the time, and one of the families found my YouTube, and I was talking about all types of things, and so I didn't get the job, and the agency had fired me or wouldn't work with me anymore. I wanted to cry myself to sleep. I'm kidding. I did. And so I took down all my videos because I needed to find a job really bad. And so I took down my YouTube for a while, but I want to come back better than ever. You know, YouTube has always been a difficult thing for me because with my Instagram is Fat Bitch to That Bitch, FATBITCHTODATBITCH. Fat Bitch to That Bitch, just in case the entire YouTube, you can't find it. I just spelled it out for you. So YouTube's always been difficult for me because on Instagram, I can just talk about what I want to talk about right then and there, boom. And then if I mess up, you know what I'm saying? I only have to fix 15 seconds because the Instagram is 15-second intervals. Whereas this, I got to either redo it because y'all know I can't edit. If you don't know I can't edit, bitch, I cannot edit. Or I have to try to edit. Either redo it or try to edit. And editing just frustrates me. So anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked because if you know me, you know that I can. I get this question a lot, and I was going to put it on my highlights in my Instagram, but I thought, you know what, this would be a good coming back video because I'm going to try not to talk about all sex things on my YouTube. I'm going to try, like I said, try. So this will be a good topic to have. So I am a nanny. And my question I get all the time is, where do I go to be a nanny? How do I do this life? What is the pay like? Etc., etc. Okay, so I'm going to and pros and cons. So I'm going to try and make it not super duper long. So how did I become a nanny? So when I first started nannying, I lied my ass off. I was a house manager first, and that family just gave me a chance, taught me everything I knew, and really taught me responsibilities such as being on time to appointments, being on time to work. Before I worked as a nanny, I was never on time to anything in my life. Now I'm never on time to anything in my personal life, but I'm always on time to stuff for work because you cannot be late for nanny stuff. And that's just that on that, hunty. I might as well just stop the video, okay? I taught you everything you need to know. But, so when I first started off, I was a house manager for a very, very wealthy family. And house manager is a little bit different from nannying because I do stuff for the house, such as appointments, like if a light bulb goes out and rich people have these super duper tall ceilings that not even the longest ladder, you got to call someone. So I would have to get the handyman to come fix all the lights. I would have to go around the house and, write down living room 1, the light by this, light by that, living room 2, dining room 1, dining room 2, whatever, however many lights was out in each room. I would have to go through all of the rooms. So that might be 3 floors of a house, 3 stories of a house. So you got to go through all of them, which you may think takes a short time, but you got to go through, click on every single light, write it down, turn off every light, next room. And a lot of big houses have a lot of lights. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So just things like that, right? So I had to make sure the house was functioning and the family was functioning with appointments and school and extra curricular activities. That I thought was one of my highest paying jobs, but that was my first job and I didn't know any better. So now that I do know better, I know that was a great paying job, but I make more than I did there now. So, how to become a nanny? Where do you go? So I started off, like I said, I was a friend of a friend, but, and I just got lucky. And then after that, I started using agencies. So all you gotta do is Google nanny agencies near me. If you have never been a nanny before, this is where I say, I didn't lie necessarily, I embellished. I put let's say my grandma's name is Carol Washington, right? I put Carol Washington as one of my families that I took care of. And then I put Christopher and Isis as the kids I took care of. But those were my siblings. And I put them down as my siblings, and then I put down everything I did for them. Everything that I did for them was real and was true, and I really did those things. But it was my siblings, and I had no choice, and I wasn't getting paid. Then I would do, like, I would add, if I did one time at church, nursery, I worked for infants, and I would just do all the things I did for infants, and I may embellish how long I did that. So I tried to stick to as close to the truth as possible until I got real deal experience. But a lot of times people don't want to give you experience, or they don't want you to be trial and erroring on their kids. So it's definitely difficult if you don't have any experience yet. I'm not telling you to lie. I'm not suggesting you're lying. I'm just telling you to lie. I'm just telling you what I did. And I was not completely honest when I first started. But now my entire resume is completely true. Because once I got through the door and I got that real experience, then I didn't have to, I took off those families, I put that family, and then more families would take me out, and I did more things. So nanny agencies, there are things on Facebook, like if you live in Georgia, there's a lot of Georgia nanny Facebook pages where moms and dads ask for babysitters all the time. And what you don't realize is a lot of times, if you do a good job at that babysitting job will be like, hey, can you come over Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Hey, can you come over Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Most of the time, a family will need you way more than they realize they will need you, especially if you do a bomb-ass job. What is a bomb-ass job, you say? If they tell you to come in the house and babysit the kids, right? But you in there and the living room's a little messy, and in the kitchen, and the dishes need to be put up, or you see in the dishwasher, the dishes need to put up or anything like that, do it. Put up the dishes, start the dishwasher, try to have it done by the time they get back, have those dishes put up at the best of your abilities. If you put the dishes in the wrong place, they will fix that, but they'll see that initiative. Even the small stuff, like if the pillows are all crunched up, before you leave, make sure they see you though. Before you leave, go back in there, fluff the pillows, put them back looking nice, even if they didn't look like when you got there. You want to leave it better than it was when you got there. And when families see that, and they see that you're willing to do stuff that they really don't feel like doing, they will hire you. I'm telling you, I'm not lying to you. I would never lie to you. So nanny agencies, Facebook pages, just type in with your state, and then nanny, nanny pages, and then Facebook should take the rest for you. Care.com is actually very good if you have a good bio. So I have a great bio that I don't have on me. I'll find it and I'll post it in my whatever that thing is on there, description box. Yes. So I'll show you I'll give you an example of my bio. If you want to copy and paste it, that's your business. I'm not telling you should, but I'm telling you that I get hella offers because of my bio. Pictures with babies on your care.com page is very important. And like I said, you can finesse it. Put some pictures of your, you and your cousins, but when I have my page with the pictures with the babies on there, it's way better than a nice headshot of me. I have pictures with me, the baby trying to kiss me, and I'm like, ah. I have pictures of us having filters on our faces. I have pictures of, the baby on the swing, and I have all these kind of pictures of activities that we're doing, or I even have pictures of us eating donuts, and then I'll put under the caption, what's better after a long bike ride than donuts? You add character. Show these parents you are not about to come here and right when you walk out the door that you're going to be playing on your phone, which, by the way, most families worth your time is going to have cameras in their house. Okay, they're going to have some kind of nanny cam. They're going to have some kind of way of knowing that there's what is going on. All the families that I've worked for that has paid me around $2,500 to $4,000 a month have had cameras in their house. They have nanny cams, they have everything, and those things have volume. So if you're on your phone, keep keying. You even got to think about it. Even if the baby's down for a nap, you can't be like, yeah, girl, and I did this and that. They can hear everything you're saying. Now, you can talk on the phone. I talk on the phone, but what I'm saying? If someone's like, oh, so how was last night? Oh, I can't talk about that right now. You know what I'm saying? I can only talk about good stuff. Stuff that's not inappropriate and anything like that, right? So keep that in mind. If the family is worth your, well, I won't say if they're worth your time, because, but for me, I have a certain amount of money that I'm willing to accept now with my experience. And so $2,500 a month is like my absolute minimum, like absolute minimum. And so, and those people that's willing to pay you that much tend to have cameras in their house. So what was I saying? Care.com, good pictures, good captions, good stories, a good bio. Check your, I'm not saying, have your grammar together. Don't have any misspelled words. Don't have, any can'ts when you make cans, or I's when you make U's. Capitalize everything. Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, not the wrong yours. They care about these things, because what if you're helping their kids with school stuff? They want you to know that you're competent to help at least a fifth grader. You know what I'm saying? And if you're doing U or Y-O-U-R and it's supposed to be the other one, that shows like, okay, that's like fifth grade level stuff. So no, thank you. So just keep that in mind too on your Care app. There's also a company called College Sitters and Nannies. This company is a pretty great company. I didn't necessarily care for the Georgia company, but the North Carolina company is freaking bomb. I love them so much. They were so helpful, and they have something in almost every state, if I remember correctly. So check it out and see if there's a College Sitters and Nannies place near you, right? And so they'll start you off at some regular McDonald's type pay wage in the beginning, but that can also help you get real experience. And you can go and do, it's like Uber. You can just type what days you're available and what days you're not available. And so say it's Friday and your friend was like, let's turn up, and no one has picked you up on Friday. On Friday, you can go in there, click it off, boom, I'm good. Or it's like Friday and your boss just told you don't have to work. You can put it on there, maybe put a later date, and you can get picked up. You never know. So it's really cool in that aspect. But once you are available, you get in so much trouble if someone picks you and then you can't make it. You get in a lot of trouble. So keep that in mind. But once you sign up with them, they'll run you through the whole thing. So we have nanny agencies, Facebook nanny groups, we have care.com, and we have College Sitters and Nannies. These are 4 fantastic ways of becoming a nanny. Okay, so yes. Now, pros and cons. Let's see how far I am. 12 minutes. Okay, I'm going to make my pros and cons short. Pros and cons. Pros of being a nanny. The money is bomb. Money is fantastic. There's hella perks to it once you get a good family. And when I mean good family, I really mean financially good, because you have to understand that sometimes your job may be amazingly priced, but the family may suck. And if I'm being honest, the richer the family, sometimes the worse they are, and the more money you're making, the meaner they are as well. And so that's a part of the cons. But going back to the pros, and the aspect of the good perks with a rich family is that you'll get free food, gas mileage, you'll be using their car, and you don't have to use your car at all. You just have to drive to their house, and then you'll go pick up the keys to their car and use their car for the rest of the day. So it'll be free food. If you are lucky enough to get a family that gives you a credit card, then even those things, I used to have families of if you can go pick us up some Taco Bell, you can go pick us some Panera, if you can go pick us up some Longhorn, you can get whatever you want. Okay, say no more, sis, because I have nothing in the fridge. So, just really good perks like that. So pros is that you may not get benefits like health insurance and stuff like that, but you actually can get that if you negotiate it in your contracts. Which, before I get sidetracked, make sure you have a contract, y'all. You need to have security, because a lot of times this may or may not be on the table. I am not on the table. But if you are, and you need to have a contract, something that will cover your ass when shit hits the fan. What is shit hits the fan, fat bitch to that bitch? Like, say your family is just like, you know what? Our kid is fucking 12. He can walk himself to school now, and you've been working for them for a year, 2 years. We're good on your services. I know you're thinking, damn, I worked for them for 2 years and they will just do like that. They will. They really, really will. You need to have in your contract that you have a severance. If you guys were to let me go for anything outside of abuse of a child or neglect of my job or neglect of a child, I am guaranteed a month severance, a 2 weeks severance, whatever y'all agree on. If the family's not willing to agree to that, do not go with that family, because if they're not willing to say that, they are damn sure willing to fuck you over. And they will, y'all. They do not care. Some people, you can work with them for a long time and they actually could care less about you, unfortunately. I'm just going to be honest. So that's so big. When you do finally get a nanny job, I don't care if they're paying you $6, if they're paying you $25, you need to have a contract. And the contract should also make sure that you have at least your first year, at least 1 year, 1 week of 1 week of vacation time, 1 week worth of sick time, and then maybe something for like weather and stuff like that, right? That you still get paid. And then you need to clarify what holidays are off and what holidays are not off. You like all these things, because if you go in there and it's like, oh, I didn't know if this. No, you need to know. Do I have Christmas off? Do I have this off? Do not forget to ask these questions, because if you don't ask in the beginning, they can change their minds as they go on. And you have nothing to look back on. You have nothing to reference to, like, oh, sorry, ma'am. Actually, you said that I have Christmas to this day off, or I have from Christmas to New Year's off, and that's what I'm taking off paid. And you have to speak up for yourself. And I learned that the hard way. I started off with a family and we did not have a contract. And 1 year we have Valentine's Day off. 1 year we don't. And 1 year we have birthdays off. 1 year we don't. 1 year we have a week off for Thanksgiving. 1 year we got 2 days off. It's whatever works for them, whatever's in what they're feeling, which no, because you need consistency. And if you thinking, oh, I had a whole week off last year, so I'm gonna go ahead and schedule, oh yeah, I'm gonna come do this with y'all, blah, blah, blah. And then, they're like, okay, we'll see you Tuesday. And you're like, what? Tuesday? So you need to make sure that you have a solid contract. Y'all both sign it. You keep your copy, email it to yourself, and make sure that if there's something that you do not like or something that you're confused about, reference back to that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, Miss Blossom. Miss Blossom. Actually, we had decided in our contract that this, right? We decided that this is going to happen. So, and not like this is going to happen, but like, no, this is happening because we already agreed on this. Here's my contract. And then they have to uphold that. And if they decide not to uphold that, then you'll take the measures that you need to take the measures. But I've never had to. Once I reference my contract, there may be some rolling of the eyes. There may be some attitude for a couple of days or a day, but we're going to do what the contract says. And that's just that on that. If there's something that's not in your contract later on that you didn't think about, you can say, hey, this was a big confusion for me. This was confusion for me. So I would like for us to sit down, talk about it, and then I want us to add this to the contract. Add it to your contract. It's not too late. And so then that way you always have something to reference back to, because they will change your mind quick as hell. 1 year they have nothing going on. This year they're going to Bahamas. And so now they want you to stay at home and do this and that and that and this so they can be out of time. Dead that. We're not doing that. We have a contract, sis. Follow it. As per contract, that's not happening. So that is so big. I meant to say that. So pros is the money is great. You make bomb ass connections and bonds and connections and meeting people. I'm telling you, I've met some great people in my jobs that has helped me later on in life. If you know how to network, then you know how to do that. I can't walk you through that. If you don't know, you don't know, boo. And then, I know I'm talking fast. Oh, because I don't want this to be too long. And then pros, really, it's just an easy job. Easy job, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be physically tired ever, unless you are with boys or something, or y'all go to the park and stuff and you're real active with them. But if you don't want to be physically tired, you don't have to be. So it's completely up to your discretion. Cons are rich people can be mean. Rich people can be belittling. Rich people can be demeaning. And you have to remember one of two things. Number one, you need to be vocal. And you need to vocalize in the most professional, respectful manner that you're uncomfortable with how this was said, how this was handled, how this was done. And for someone like me, I'm a 23-year-old Cancer, super duper not into confrontation woman. So I had a hard time with it, but I learned from my mistakes, you're going to have to get over it, because they will run over you. A lot of times rich people are rich for a reason, and it ain't nothing sweet. Okay. So you have to keep that in mind. And then also you gotta keep in mind, you can't pop off on Miss Blossom like you can at, your boss at your office job, or, McDonald's or your fast food job. You can't pop off or anything like that. You need to be respectful, responsible, and you need to be very precise and clear on what you're uncomfortable with. So there's no there's no misunderstandings. Okay, because people will play that dumb card real quick on you. You got a master's in this and that, but you don't understand what I'm saying right now. Okay, another con is that every family disciplines their child differently. So if you're growing up and you grew up whooping that ass and a kid do something, you have to respect that they don't whoop their kids. They don't punish your kids. I've had a family that says, my kids will have a hard life, and I'm not going to let them be sad. I'm not going to let them be turned down now, so we don't discipline them. And that was their rule. We don't discipline them. We just talk to them, but we let them, experience life. Okay. And then while their kids is experiencing life, they're going to come home and be like, why is Timmy got 2 black eyes and why Timmy got 2 black eyes, a scraped knee, and why is the window broken? I'm like, bitch, because Timmy was experiencing life. That's why. So that's very difficult. But you have to respect it. You have to execute it as well as possible. You have to be a mirror of them, because at the end of the day, while their parents are not home, you are their parents, and you have to be what they are. You have to be, and you can add your own forms of discipline if they allow you to, but if they don't, and they will let you know, no, we want you to do it just like this. You have to do it just like that, or you will get let go, sis. And if you do let go, make sure you got your contract. Hello. So disciplining is very, very difficult sometimes, because some parents, they don't discipline their kids. Another thing is that they'll tell you you can discipline their kids, but then they don't have your back when you do. And so then now the kids try to bitch you because you said I got to sit down. Well, last time you said I got to sit down, you said you're going to take my iPad for an hour. I called my mama, and she said I can have my iPad, so bitch, what are you going to do then? And so now it's a problem of respect. So now you have to think about how the parents are going to discipline. If they are going to allow you to discipline, are they really going to back you? These are questions you ask in your interviews, and you give them examples. Like I've had a family, even if you haven't, I've had a family that did not back my very reasonable and punishments. So what's your view on that? If I say no to this for an hour because of his behavior, are you going to back me on that? Or are you not? These are questions you need to ask yourself, because you want to be able to sit with your family for at least a year. And so you need to make sure that you can deal with this family for at least a year. So another con is just, like I said, families being demeaning. And also you have to realize that every ethnicity, as much as we say, can't fall into stereotypes, families and people fall into stereotypes. So, sometimes, African American kids are a little bit badder, and their parents are, especially if they're not a high income family, and you're just doing it, like starting out, which I did, they're going to be kind of rough around the edges, and the parents are going to be so tired that they can't help you a lot. Or maybe it's on the other end of the spectrum of I had an Indian family that I worked for, very, very strict on schooling, very, very strict on schooling. So you have to just keep that in mind, that your ethnicity of your family actually matters. It matters in the aspect of how they may hold the standards of their children, and how they may deem some things important and some things not important. And that's the only reason why ethnicity may matter. But some of the things that my Indian family did, I also had the Indian family that I took care of that was great, but I definitely had problems with the dad talking down to me. And I'm a woman, and I work for him. And so, in the Indian culture, that could, you can understand how he didn't even mean to be talking to me like that, but it's just almost habit. We talked about it. I communicated to him if he was making me uncomfortable. He got a lot better before I left, but still I wasn't comfortable and I wanted to leave. But communicating does help sometimes, but sometimes it's just like a lifelong thing that you've been doing your whole life. So yeah. And then, sometimes white women, some of the white families that I've taken care of will blow up on me like really, really bad. And I've worked for a lot of different ethnicities: white, Hispanic, Indian, Italian, which I know is white, but like different cultures or whatever. But I've only really been blown up on by white women. And I've only been demeaned by a couple of men, but mainly my Indian family. And I never choose a family by their ethnicity or anything, but I definitely, try to remember and try to that cultures are different. Black people treat their kids differently than white people. White people treat their kids differently than Hispanic people, and et cetera, et cetera. And you just have to be prepared for that change, especially if you're going from white family to an Indian family. They may be completely the same, but you also should be prepared for them being completely different. And that's all I'm saying about that. And then cons, if you do lose your job, they can, if you don't have a contract, they can just, that's it. Don't come back over here. You ain't getting no money. You're not getting 2 weeks. You're not getting a month. They can try to take advantage of you if you don't know any better. And yeah, so it's already longer than I wanted it to be, but I will say that being a nanny is bomb. I love it. All the families that I left, either positive or negative, during the time that I was there, I had a great experience. I learned something. With my Indian family, I really learned that I need to be better at disciplining. So my next family, I was good at it. I was good at disciplining because I just had to deal with children that I had a very difficult time disciplining. With my white family, I learned that I needed to be prepared for someone to blow up on me, and I had to prepare myself on how to react to that, because she can blow up on me. She's my boss. She shouldn't, but I can't blow back, and you have to keep that in mind. And so now, after having an experience with my first lady that blew up on me, I was able to, when my next lady blew up on me, to shut that shit down on the most respectful level. Like, this is not how I would be spoken to. Whereas the first time it happened, I just cried. Real shit, I just cried. It was like, I can't believe she talked to me like that. I've been working for you for this and that, and now it's just that. No, sis. Dead that. So I don't want it to seem like I am being racist or I'm saying anything about any ethnicity, but in my experience, and I've been a nanny for about 5-6 years, in my experience, ethnicities do come into account. And I'm just not going to lie about that, because I want you to be prepared for that. So I hope I didn't offend anybody, but if I did, it is what it is, because I said what I said and I meant it. So, yes, but like I said, even with my Indian family, like my Indian family worked me to death, but they fed me good. They paid me well for the most part. There were some moments, but where they were trying to cut my hours and shit because they didn't want to pay me. But after I communicated with them that I noticed it, they chilled. Definitely the women treated me great. We had some good conversations. I love the older grandma. The grandmother was like the best. I loved her so much. Indian food is freaking amazing. And then my Italian family, woo, those meatballs are to die for. And I was able to take something away from every single family, positive and negative. And so if I could go back and change any family that I've ever taken care of, I would take care of everybody. And I would do things differently in the aspect of just not being taken advantage of and also handling things correctly. But just remember that being a nanny is different from working for a company. You can't be late because this family is waiting for you to come relieve them to go to work. So you can't be late. There's not another team, or you don't have a team member that can cover the register for you. There's no one to cover your register. It's just you, right? And if you don't come in, then your big boss is going to be late to a big meeting or anything. Because keep in mind, these people are rich. These people have big jobs for a reason. And them being late is not one of the reasons why they're in that position. So you have to take accountability of your time. Sometimes you want to go out on Sunday, or you want to go out and you can't, because if you're going to be late, then don't go. So I love being a nanny. Only thing I would ever do outside of being a nanny is run my company. And my families love me. And I have a good time. So I'm going to put in my bio, if I can find it. If I can't, then just message me, and then I'll try to just finesse you up one, or you can send me yours and I can help you go over it. But hopefully I can find it. I think I know where it is, but we'll see. So I'm sorry this was longer than I thought it was going to be, but I'm glad I didn't put this on my story because this is long. And if you have any additional questions, or you have any comments or anything like that, feel free to comment below. And share this, and tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your best friend. You dig? Thank you guys so much.